Thank you very much once again. Let me take this opportunity to welcome you back at this aristocratic channel of ours. And this is MATRIC+NATED Specialist, whereby we are specializing in different subjects, entrepreneurship and business management N5. And I want you N5 to listen very well. This is pertaining to the test series and examinations that we are going to write. It entails the content coverage for you. Got the dream? You are in the right place, and hit the subscription button and turn on. Asking you to listen to this video up until to the end of the video. And today's lesson, again, we are going to talk about the management. And then we are saying that the management, it is how now the managers can ensure that they take the product or they take the business effectively so by means of managing it. And then after completing this module, we are to see that we will explain, number one, the concept of management. Number two, the difference between the management functions and the business functions. Three, we explain by means of giving practical examples why managers are important in a business and what skill do they bring. Remember that when you're applying for a post, they always want your CV, and that it is to ensure that they need this to take place. They want to see your skills and qualification. And then we are saying we're here to indicate the practical example on how different business environments can now, we are to define the process of decision making and the difference between the type of decisions that can be different types of decisions that can be made by a business. And then we'll be here to learn about the application of the decision process. Remember that managers must take decisions in terms of the workers, how he or she's performing a task in a workplace, and then with the practicals to generate possible alternative solution. The word alternative, it refers to the other way of doing things when the specific problem arises. All right. Without wasting any time, let us get the show rocking, and then let us see. In the introduction, remember that we have said that the management can be explained in many ways, but you should see that management now, the definition for 2 mark is the process we have highlighted of directing the resources of the business. Remember, the businesses have got the resources and the efforts of the employees of the business towards opportunities to achieve what we call a profit. Then that is how we know the overview. And then you can see here they have defined the term management. We are saying is the process of directing all the resources and efforts of the business towards opportunities to generate profit. And then what we must know additionally there, it is that this takes by means of planning. We mean that managers must plan. They must organize. Organizing refers to the function of organizing personnel in a rightful manner. And then we are to see that, and they must apply leadership, and they must exercise control over the stock and over the money that is accumulated now in a business. And then the definition is for 2 marks, and then explanation, it is for 4 marks. If we are talking of the resources in the business, we are to see here we've got the different types of resources. So in the examination, they will say, list the different types of resources managed. It means the manager must manage these resources. And then we are saying now, these are the resources, and we are saying under the type of resources, we've got the human resource, number one, which refers to the workers, supervisors, and the managers. And then we've got the financial, which are finances. And then we are to say own capital, loan investment, and the cash flow that they do in business must be taken into precaution. And then physical, we are saying buildings, assets, equipment, and stocks, they must be well kept. And then technological, we are saying the production process, internet, receipts, and patents should be done now by the manager. And this is for a maximum of 8 marks. That is important. The manager must exercise the planning, organizing, leadership, and controlling. Let us get now the explanation. We are saying that a planning, this deals with the compiling of a detailed business plan. The business plan, including the goals and the objectives, means the means of to achieve them. The compilation of your own business plan was therefore a management function. So who must do those things is the managers, which are the management function. And then we are saying managers must be able to organize. This ensures that your business plan is implemented. The keyword there is implemented. We cannot plan, and then we don't do. We must implement. Implement tells us about we do whatever we planned. And then in other words, organizing your workers, materials, equipment to achieve your objectives. And then we go to what we call leadership. This refers to doing the right if leaders encourages a suggestion to make others perform more productively. And then we talk about the controlling. And then this is all about comparing actual results with the business plan and the corrective actions when necessary. It controls your business to be on the right track, and that is for 8 marks. If we are going on again, we would see that we still have some other important aspects pertaining to the work that we should do. And then we have what we call now the resources, and these resources which are functions now. So we are saying that the manager must ensure that there is what we call functioning. And then we are saying the manager must be able to plan, to organize, to lead, and to control. That is what we read about in the previous page. And then here we are going on the importance now of management, the importance of the management. And then we are saying that what is important when looking at the job finder section newspaper, you immediately notice the wide variety of management position advertised. What is important is here is when this in the newspaper is advertised, you would see that positions such as credit control, they include positions such as what? Credit control, managers, personnel, managers, warehouse managers, and sales managers. It is in fact hard to imagine any business without a manager. The reason for this manager, they vary. Managers form a very important part of the business because of the task and the function they perform. They perform what we call planning function in the business and ensure that there is a successful execution. What we plan, it is what we must do in terms of those plans. This includes the other function as organizing, leading, and control, which we have anticipated. If we are moving on, they must also have the responsibility to their specific management roles. If we are moving on again, the other question that can come in a question paper is that of a list now the skills of the manager. So we are saying that in the business world, the manager must have skills and expertise to ensure that the business will run smooth and will run effectively. And one of the skills that a manager should possess is the technical skill, which is number one. And then you should notice in the job finder that task that when a business is looking for a manager in a specific position, the person must be an expert in that field. So he must know the job. This includes qualification. This means that the person must be possess technical experience to becoming a manager. The reason is that you can only ensure that a successful performance of the task by workers if you can do it yourself. This argument is, however, not valid in all situations, especially in more senior management position. In this position, other managerial skills are important. If we are moving on again, we have to see the other skill that one must possess is the human skill. So this is the human skill. We are saying here, the human skill, it involves your ability to work with other people, communicate well now with your employees. This is because of a good manager is no longer performing the task him or herself, but must ensure that the workers must do it. The manager, therefore, has to possess some of the following skills: the ability to communicate well, with the ability to motivate workers, and the ability to understand other people. If we are moving on, we are to see that that manager must have what we call conceptual skills. And then this refers to the ability to apply or to adapt existing methods, techniques, designs, and problems to create a better alternative, which is the way. It means that such a person must have an understanding of the interrelatedness of the different facets in the business of, as well as an acute awareness of the business environment. Creativity is the characteristics of the manager with good conceptual skills. The manager must also have the skills to make decisions on all given various these variables. And that in total, it can be for a maximum of 16 marks. So ensure that you are getting this. As on here, we are to see that we will talk more about the responsibilities of the manager. And then we know that one key responsibility of the manager is the financial obligation if the business must fail. Therefore, we are saying that here we are having a primary responsibility of different levels of managers. And then we've got 3 types of these managers. We've got the top level manager, we've got the middle level manager, and then we have the lower level manager. So in that scenario, we must understand where does these managers form and take place in terms of explanation into their roles and the functions. Then, as we are saying that the top level manager, as mentioned that in the earlier, that the role of the level acceptance of the responsibility for the business as a whole, strategies and policies of the business. It means he must be the one that is to set now policies which we must adhere to. An example of such are positions such as the chief executive officer, the board members, and the small business owner. Middle level, it varies in the significant according to the size now of the company, but they have normally to accept the responsibility for a specific department. These are HOD. In a large business, such department might be, for example, consist of smaller departments. The marketing department might have the sales department and advertising department. Managers in charge of this department must also be part of the middle, and they derive from the top management. That is what we must understand. And then if ever we are moving on again, we are to see that we've got the lower management, which can be the supervisor. And then we are saying it entails supervising now the workers to get the job done. They face realities of operation, such as quality control, productivity, customer service, and complaints, targets, motivating the workforce, and problem solving. So these are the key factors of functioning in the business. This is a very important responsibility within the business, any business. Their own expertise in technical and human skills, they are very important because of they must know how to solve technicalities, and they must be able to communicate with human. If they possess exceptional conceptual skills, the promotion to the middle management is more likely. And then if ever we are moving on, we are to see that workers, they are not part of the management structure of the business. They are therefore not the managers. If we are moving on again, we are to see that here we are having the functional responsibilities. And then we are saying most business, even the smallest, differentiate between 4 different but interrelated functions now of the business. And then the reason is that each of the function requires special knowledge. People also trained in one of these fields to ensure that there's effective management. Businesses are therefore usually divided into departments to these functions. There are various other methods, but they will be discussed more later. And then these functional responsibilities of the business are the finance. They deal about the funds of the business, the marketing. They market the product or the service to be known, and the production. They produce the product, and the personnel. These are the workers now that are involved. And then if ever we are going on again, we are to see that we've got now the finance. Let us discuss the finance and their responsibilities. We are saying that here, the finance in a business can be divided into separate interrelated sections, namely the financial accounting, which is the bookkeeping, and the managerial accounting. The latter is concerned with providing information to the managers, those who are in the business, and those who are in charge with directing and controlling of the operation. Financial accounting provides information about the people outside of the business, example, the debtors, the creditors, and to the bank. Both they use the set of financial records and financial statements. So that is what they use. And here we are having for the financial information, it helps the manager to plan effectively, do costing, determine the profitability, direct operation, and solve problems, which it can be for a maximum of 10 marks just under the finance. If again we are moving on, we are to see that we still have the variety of work that we are supposed to do. And in this concept now, we are going to talk about the marketing. And then we are saying here, under the marketing, we are saying marketing can be defined as a process of planning, executing. So you plan And then after planning, you must ensure you execute, you do what you have planned of the conception, and they deal with pricing, promotion, distribution of ideas, goods and services to create or exchange mostly likely money that they satisfy the business objective, which can be the profit. And then we are saying the marketing planning of is an ongoing process of the business, and it ensures that it establishes the clear, specific market objectives. And then the second aspect is that if we can look, it identifies the target markets, and then it focuses on the marketing mix in this instinct. And then under the production or operation, we are saying the production or operation management may be defined as the managing of the resources required to produce the products or the services by a business. The purpose is to add value, and it is discussed more in detail in module 8, and therefore it involves, this is important, take note that it can be asked there in a maximum of 10 marks. And then we are saying the raw material, the equipment, the buildings and facility, manufacturing process, and then we go to personnel. And then we can see that when we're dealing now with personnel, we talk of the human resource management skill. It deals with people that the business has qualified workforce, achieve its objective, the labor relation, the ring of all part of the function. So that is what they do, these particular people, and that it can be for 10 marks. If we are going on again, we have to see that we are having a management environment. And then in this instinct, when we are talking about the management environment, we talk of now the studying of the environment within the business operates must be seen as planning the technique. This process is also known as the environmental scanning. Apart from providing vital information for the business, environmental scanning is never an ending process of a learning, a process that helps you to plan more effectively for the future. And then we are saying that the direct environment here, we are saying that in a business, there are customers which they buy, there is competition, which we are facing, the suppliers, which they supply with the goods and services, mainly raw materials, and then we've got the government, which ensures that he is now ensuring that there's legislation and laws. And the indirect now environment, we are saying that these are the politics that they keep on changing, the culture of the society in regards to this, the economy, which is at a place that is developed or underdeveloped, undergone to a recession. And then we talk of the technological development, the international trade and international laws. And then we talk about the go green environment. They have now the indirect impact in the business. And then let us move on again. We have to see, when we are moving on, we will talk more of this particular aspect, which is the internal environment business. And then we are saying under this, we are having the formal organization now. And then the formal organization is the way in which the business is structured to achieve the business objectives, which are goals. This includes the allocation of the task and dividing people that are doing similar work into manageable units. An example are the forging of coalition. Coalition, it means when people combine together, the co-option, the change of position of the potential opponent by inviting him or her to your group, the divide and rule, create a rift between people who might jointly oppose you, exchange favors successfully, and that is for 10 marks. And then if ever we are going on again, we have to see that when we are talking of the informal organization, we talk of the organization that develops as a result of the employee needs that are not fulfilled by the formal business. And then we are saying that these needs include social guidance and support to get the job done and sharing of joint interest. Informal groups can be powerful and can destroy if their goal differs from those of the business. This can undermine the owner's objectives to provide the excellent customer service. And then we have an organizational politics. We are saying under this, we are having individuals use the organizational politics in the business to influence others and to gain power. So-called informal tactics are used to get their either personal power or positional power, referred to Module 4. When we are talking about the personal power, then we will explain to it later on. And then here we are saying that the perception is the way they see. It is that the organization politics is always negative. This is not always true. If the manager knows how to make the use of the organizational politics, it can have the positive results for the business. Excessive political behavior can, however, be the detriment of the business. Come disgruntled and leave. There are various methods to organizational politics. And then we talk of the external environment. We are saying here, this is a distinct, the word distinct, it means the difference is drawn between the direct external environment and the indirect external environment. The first refers to those elements that are directly affected a business. The later will also affect a business, but more on a long-term basis. If we are going on again, and let us see that we are having the last external environment. And then we are saying that these are the groups of customers. This is probably the single most important day-to-day environmental force in a business that contend with, because your business is about the customer and their needs. It is important to take care of them. You should know what they want and what they need and how these needs could have the change. And some of those needs are the need for timely service, the need to feel welcome, the need to feel important, the need to be understood, the need for appreciation. For me and my crew, I'm saying thank you very much for tuning on in this module, and ensure that you are tuning on for the further now of this chapter, whereby we are going to finish it off. Hit the subscription button and share to those who are concerned. At MATRIC+NATED Specialist. Good day.